Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Office Hours podcast. I am the college and scholarship expert. My name is Kenneth Woodard, and as you can see, I'm a graduate of the Joseph Business School, very proud graduate. I'm also in my third year of law school. And aside from that, I've spent about 12 years doing college and scholarship counseling for students. I've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of students. And today, my focus is on seniors in high school. So, the question for today's podcast is, what is the number one thing that seniors need to do to prepare for getting into college and getting great scholarship? The answer to that question is not going to shock you. It's actually very intuitive and very obvious, but I'm going to break it down and go deep into how to do it. The number one thing you should do as a senior to get into college and increase your opportunity for scholarships is apply to at least 5 to 12 colleges. 5 is the absolute minimum. 12 is actually what I want you to shoot for. So if I could put it in almost like a grading format, if you're applying to 5 colleges, you're like that C minus student in my mind. So if we make this a class, the Office Hours podcast class, you get a C minus in my class if you're applying to 5 colleges. You may get about a B if you do 8 to 9 or so, but if you want that A, if you want that A plus, you've got to apply to 12 colleges. And again, anything lower than 5, that's really that D or F range. I want you to take that seriously. I want you to hear that from an expert because it's really important for many reasons that we'll talk about why you need to apply to at least 5 colleges. So let's jump in. The first thing I want to talk about is this hypothetical. And when I say hypothetical, I'm going to set up a scenario, a story that I just want you to think about. It's totally made up, but I just want you to think about it because it will serve to make the point about why you should apply to more colleges. And this is based on experience. Let's say, for instance, there is a college. It's a small to medium-sized college. They want 5,300 students to come in every single year. All right, so they want 5,300 students to come in every year. And actually, that would be a medium to large size college. Forgive me. And most colleges know whether they're hitting the mark on the number of students they want to come every year at around that date of May 1st. So May 1st in the spring before the fall when students actually show up and start moving into dorms and starting classes. May 1st is when every student tells colleges, I'm coming to your school and not the other schools. So they're looking at May 1st, and this, let's call it the ABC College. So ABC College is May 1st, and only 5,000 students have said they're coming. Well, they need 5,300 to pay all the bills and pay all the professors. And so they're at a 300 student deficit. What oftentimes happens is that these colleges will immediately start calling students who are on their wait list, start calling students who didn't say yes but they haven't heard from, start emailing students like mad to find out who can they get to come to get that number to that 5,300. And what also happens is when colleges are at a deficit like that, oftentimes what they'll do is they will ask, how many colleges have you gotten into? Or they'll ask you, what other colleges have you gotten into? And how much money are they offering you in scholarship? And they may ask you that because if they find out that there's another college that you are considering, and they're only giving you like $1,000 more or $2,000 more than what they're offering, they may say, well, hey, would you come to our college if we offered you $1,000 or $2,000 more? What if we offered you another $3,000? Would you come? And so what's happening is when colleges get into this kind of like stressful mode of needing to what we call make the class, they may offer you a little bit more money. Now, if you're that student who's only applied to 1 or 2 colleges, let's say you applied to 2 colleges, you only got into 1. And the one college that you got into is the one that we're talking about, ABC College. Now, you haven't told them you're coming or not. They may say, hey, we're desperate. What other colleges have you applied to? Are they offering you money? We could do a little bit better. We may give you thousands more just to come. Well, what are you going to say if you've only gotten into that one other college? Like, I'm sorry, I haven't gotten into the other college. They'll say, oh, okay. We don't have to worry about you. You either come to our college or you don't go to college at all. So we're not going to give you more money. We're not going to give you more, favor. We're not going to give you any of this because you weren't smart. You only applied to the one college. But if you come back to them and say, well, actually, I applied to 6 other colleges, 5 of them are talking to me right now, trying to get me to come. But I really like your college. The problem is it's a little bit too expensive. If you could give me maybe $3,000 or $4,000 more dollars in scholarship, I think we could possibly make this work. And that's exactly what you would say, and the colleges will write the check. I'm telling you from experience, I've seen it happen. Even colleges that say, we don't change financial aid award letters, we won't change the amount of scholarship. Even those colleges, if they get into a stressful period where they don't know if they're going to make the class, you'll see them bend on their own principles and rules and say, look, we'll give you a little something if you're going to let us know that you're going to come. And so that's a perfect reason why you actually want to apply to more than 5 colleges, because you'll see in the end that colleges may actually want to compete over you and offer you more money. So that's one of the main reasons. The other reasons is that you may apply to 5 colleges, and after visiting those colleges, notice that there's only a handful or maybe 1 or 2 that you could actually see yourself there. You can actually see yourself as a student there. So the other thing is that you just want to leave the options open for what you actually are going to feel comfortable, because this is a place you're going for 4 years. Even if you're a commuter student and you're going to be living at home but traveling to the school, certain things have to fit, right? In order for you to really feel comfortable there for 4 years, it's going to be your home. It's going to be your other home. So you want to make sure that you have lots of options for that reason. So between 5 to 12 colleges, that's what you want to do. You want to apply to 5 to 12 colleges, and that is the best advice that I can give you. Now, how do you apply? I'm going to get into this just a little bit, how to apply to college. Now, we talk about applying to college. It's simply a form that you fill out and you send that to the college. They get it in their email or they get it on their computer service, and that's how they know officially that you want to come to their college and that they owe you a decision. They have to tell you either, yes, we want you to come, we're welcoming you to come, or no, we don't want you to come at this time, or maybe we will put you on our wait list. These are some of the options that they could give you, but they've got to give you some answer if you officially apply to the college. So it's just an application that you fill out. But I don't want to give the wrong impression. Even though I say it's just an application, these applications can be lengthy. They can have many parts. And so I want you to feel comfortable with the fact that you may have to start your application to a college, save it, and come back. And virtually all colleges have a process where you can start the application, you can save it, let it sit, come back to it the next day, and open it up, and everything that you started to work on is still saved there, and you can come back to it, because these college applications will have parts where you've got to give information about yourself, where you live, who you are, your parents or guardians, who they are, where they live, where they did or did not go to college. You may have to give information about what you've done in school, your grades, what you do after school, extracurricular activities, community service. They want you to write essays, maybe 1 or more essays about who you are, so they can know what kind of person you are in real life, and what you've overcome and how you're going to show up on their campus. They want to know about your financials. They want to know about your history. They want to know about, if you were a student that had to deal with a lot of discipline issues in high school, or legal issues in your community, or if you were someone who contributed to the community, or maybe you were someone who had issues in the past, but you overcame those issues, and now you are a model citizen and a model student. All of that information they want to know, because they're bringing you into a close, a safe community of people that you're going to live with. So these are different parts of your application. And one of the most common places where people go to do an application is a website called Common App. you're going to run a cross Common App. Your guidance counselor or assistant principal or principal is going to talk about that. And so Common App, but it's not the only place. I don't want to give the impression that Common App is the only place you will go. There are other services, and many colleges actually want you to apply on their website, where you can save your application on the website and come back to it, because they're not partners with Common App. But Common App is a nice tool because many colleges actually use that one website where you can apply to one college and then click a button and apply the same information that you just put in for one college to the next college and the next one. So really it's that first application that may take some time. It may take some coming back to. You may have to ask your parents for information, come back to the application. Do some research with your teachers, with your guidance counselor, and then come back to the application. But once you do that first one, it gets easier over time. So I just want you to stay dedicated to the process. And the last thing I'll say, and again, we're talking about what's the number one thing that students can do if you are a senior in high school, is apply to 5 to 12 colleges. I think it's so important to stress the quality of these applications and not just the quantity. The quantity that I'm stressing is at least 5, and I mean at least in the full sense of the word. It's the bare minimum, bottom of the barrel, nothing less than that. At least 5, and a maximum, or I don't want to put a maximum on it. I told you in another YouTube video that I had a student who did, I think, 22 applications, which I think is great. But, going up to about 12 is, I think, A work. That's A-level work to do 12. So that's the quantity that I want you to shoot for. But what about the quality? I cannot stress enough. The quality is so important. I was a college admissions counselor at the college where I graduated. And I have reviewed thousands of college applications. And so what happens when you've seen so many college applications, you've read so many essays, you become, it's almost second nature. I can find a grammatical error or poor sentence structure, or I can flag a essay that's not working logically for me in an instant. It's super easy to do. And so if you're sending your application to people who see a lot of applications, you want to make sure that your application has every I dotted, every T crossed. It's totally buttoned up. Just for demonstration, I'm going to button this top button here. There you go. Totally buttoned up. Nothing is unbuttoned. Nothing is missing. And the reason you want that is because it shows the excellence and the quality that you put into the process of your application. What that means is when you write your essays, get someone to review it, get someone else to review it, get a professional to review it, get a trusted mentor to review it, but not just your essays. Get people to review your entire application from the first line of the application where you put your name. Have somebody else check that you spelled your own name right. I'm so serious. Have someone check that you spelled your address right, that you put your teachers' names right, that you described your extracurricular activities in the application with enough depth, that the grammar is correct, that the punctuation is correct. Every piece of that application needs to be checked off on for the highest level of quality. Because the people who are seeing these applications are people who can spot an error in an instant. But the bonus of doing exactly what I'm saying, which is to make it the highest quality for every application, is that if you do that, you far increase your opportunity and your chances of getting into these great schools. And great schools have great scholarship. I want you to know that. So it's totally worth the stress, I guess, or the focus and the detail to make sure that everything is highest level of quality. And you're going to be so proud of yourself if and when you do that. So I hope this was a great podcast for you. You've stepped into my office hours podcast, so we've spent some time together. And I want you to share this with your friends. Share it with several friends who need this information. It's free. And you can also subscribe. You can also like and share. This has been the Office Hours Podcast. I'm your host, the college and scholarship expert, Kenneth Woodard. Thank you so much for viewing this. And I also want you to know, if you like what you heard or you want to ask a question, leave a question in the comment below. You can also email me using the description link, or just go to the college and scholarship expert at gmail.com. Drop me a line, drop me a note. If this was good information, just give me a notification on that. If you have a question about anything I said, I'd love to take your questions. So thank you so much again for watching and viewing. I hope to catch you in the next Office Hours podcast with the college and scholarship expert. Thanks so much for watching.